Oh, it's wonderful stuff here. Sinistera's at the back post. So's Adeyemi Sinistera. And it's Zaha driving into the box. Can he get away? Oh, my word. He drives into the penalty area. He strikes and he just puts it wide. 3 games into Season 2, we sit 5th in the Premier League table. 6 points, 2 wins, 1 loss. And this episode, we're going to do something a little different. So normally I play on a month-by-month basis, showing extended highlights of each game that I play. But I've decided to mix things up a little bit, and I'm actually going to start playing more games per episode, but focusing on the key highlights instead. I'm hoping that's going to inject a little bit of urgency into this season. And without further ado, let's get cracking straight away. And we kick off game number 1 of this episode away at Chelsea. A massive, massive game here to kick this episode off. And as you can see, they're playing 5 at the back. Kimpembe, the big signing for them, but it's the usual front 3, Ziyech, Aubameyang and Sterling. Chelsea absolutely battered us every single time they played us last season, including a 6-1 loss against them in the Cup. So I'm hoping for a little bit better fortune this time round. As you can see, I've kept my normal starting 11 after a really, really strong win against Aston Villa at the back end of the previous episode. Oh, Lucanets, what on earth are you doing? Gives it straight to Sterling. And Meslier there with a big save. First big save of this game. Ziyech now plays it into the path of Sterling. Sterling been really dangerous so far in this game. Sterling turns. Looks to strike, he does. And it's another big save from Meslier. Ziyech tries to turn away from Jacob Ramsey. He does well. Aubameyang strikes to intercept. Shaparenko wings it back. Oh, that's a wonderful turn away from Christensen into Dan James. He's got the pace to go around the defender. Into the box. And it's in at the back post. It's Jacob Ramsey once again. He goes through the billboard there. I don't know what on earth was going on with FIFA there. It's another glitch. But I don't care. We get the first goal of this game. It's an unlikely goal. And to be honest, it's a goal we do not deserve. And Christensen now is trying to chase down Chilwell. He doesn't have the pace to do it though. Chilwell drives into the penalty area. Sterling in acres of space on this left-hand side. Christensen is absolutely nowhere to be seen. Kalulu fighting with him. And it's Struijk away. Great defending from him. Rocker going to try and look for the ball over the top to Sinistera. It's a wonderful ball. And Sinistera manages to get onto it. He's tussling with Reece James. Manages to get the better of him. Jacob Ramsey tries to shoot. Lucanets. Jacob Ramsey. Oh, that's lovely stuff from us. Sinistera drives into the penalty area. He's got options at the back post. And he finds Shaparenko. And it is 2-0 here at Stamford Bridge. Oh, Chilwell gets there ahead of Christensen. Christensen tried to barge into the back of him. Turns. He's looking for a pass. But instead just decides to drive forward. And he does try and find a pass. But Struijk easily able to intercept. And he's not. Havertz takes it off of him. What on earth was Struijk doing? To be completely honest, I'm just going to play this around at the back now. Sensible times. And that is that. Retribution against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. We pick up our first win against them. It is 2-1 here. And what a game. And it's back to Elland Road for game number 2 of this episode. And of course it is a home game against Fulham. And as you can see, I've gone same formation, same starting 11 for the one that pulled off a miraculous win against Chelsea in the first game. As for Fulham, they've gone 4-2-3-1. And as we cycle through their players, you can see they only really have 2 players that are actually 80 or above. So once again, this is a game we should be getting a result from. Reed has it. Nicely played into Kearney again. He ends up going out wide to the right-hand side to De Cordova-Reid. He tries to dink it in, and it's straight in. And Vinicius gets his head on it, and Meslier is forced into an early save. Looks over the top to Dan James. It's a lovely ball out to him. Finds him. Dan James goes inside to Shaparenko. I'm going to try and go back to Dan James. I do. Oh, it's wonderful stuff here. Sinistera's at the back post. So's Adeyemi Sinistera. Straight against the goalkeeper. De Cordova-Reid. Nicely done to get past Lucanets. Drives down this right-hand side. Ends up going inside. But Rocker is there to collect. Rocker. Lovely turn from him as well. Adeyemi going to look out wide to the right-hand side to Dan James. He finds Dan James. Dan James doesn't really have too many options, but skips away. And it's away from the defender. Great work from Dan James. Oh, lovely stuff. Manages to get past Christensen. Continues to drive on. Oh, nice little step over. Goes past him again. Flings this one into the box. Jacob Ramsey into Shaparenko. Shaparenko has Dan James on the right-hand side. Gives it to him. Nicely laid off. Dan James drives into the area. And it's 1-0 here. We take the lead inside the first half. It's a deserved lead. And it's a great goal from Dan James. Nice work from Jacob Ramsey and Shaparenko in the middle of the park. Lay it off to Dan James. He puts it in the back of the net. It's 1-0 here at Elland Road. Into Vinicius Jr. He drives forward, tries to get past Kalulu. Does he have the strength? He does. Great stuff from him. Passes it over. Why didn't he just take it forward? Rocker finds Adeyemi. Adeyemi finds Sincitera on the left-hand side. He's going to strike. Jacob Ramsey finds Shaparenko. He finds Dan James. Dan James switches it onto his left. Out wide now to Dan James. I'm looking for the on-rushing run of Christensen. I find it. Ball across. Rocker's there. It's 2-0. And it's a wonderfully worked goal. What a brilliant way to give us a 2-goal cushion here at Ellen Road. Lays that off to Rocker. Rocker finds Shaparenko. It's a wonderful ball across. He plays it across to Adeyemi. And he puts it in the back of the net. Another brilliantly worked goal. And we lead here at Ellen Road 3-0. Cope goes back out to the right-hand side, finds Dan James. Going to look for the on-lapping run of Christensen. I do. Throw this into the box. No one there. He finds Ramsey. And he now finds Popescu out on the left-hand side. Fulham have completely fallen apart here. Popescu switches it onto his right. And it's a great save from Leno. We have a corner here. I'm just going to swing this one in. It's to the near post. It's into the goalkeeper's hands. And that is that. Game over here at Ellen Road. And it's another win. Another 3 points in the bag. A huge 3-0 win against Fulham. It's on to game number 3 here in this episode, and it is our first simmed game. And as you can see from my starting 11, it would be rude of me not to keep the same starting 11 as we are on such a great run of form. And that run of good form continues. Harrison and Sinisterra give us 2 second-half goals to give us a 2-1 win against Bournemouth at Ellen Road. And it's on to game number 4, away, of course, at Crystal Palace. And you can see in my starting 11, I have made 2 enforced changes due to fatigue. After the international break, Gelhardt comes in up front for Adeyemi, and Jack Harrison, after a great showing and a goal against Bournemouth, gets the nod ahead of Sinisterra. And Crystal Palace have mirrored my 4-3-3 formation with Elise, Mateta and Zaha up front. They caused me a lot of problems last time I played them. Hopefully, they don't do the same here today. Elise driving into the centre here. He's getting it onto his left foot, trying to shape up for a shot. He does. Good block in the end from Kalulu, but Elise wins the ball back. Zaha now has it. He drives into the centre, trying to get it onto his right. Mateta! Palace go in for the corner, and it's a great way to start the game for them. It's a huge head. Past Meslier, left him with absolutely no chance. And out of nothing, Palace have got their first goal of the game. Gelhardt out wide to Luca Netz. He's going to look for Harrison on this left-hand side. Harrison tries to dink it in. Gusto gets in the way. It's a Leeds corner. Dan James to take the corner. Going to aim it into the penalty spot. And it's a great save from the goalkeeper. Fran Beltran, that's a lovely ball into Zaha. Nice little turn away from Rocker. Fran Beltran into the feet of Zaha. Rocker makes amends. Zaha turns away from Struik really nicely. He's got the pace to drive into the centre. Lays it off to Decore. Into Shaparenko. He's got this habit of picking up really nice pockets of space. Into Jack Harrison. Jack Harrison onto his right. Strikes into the back of the net. It's a brilliant, brilliant goal. Jack Harrison, it's his second goal of the season. And it's his second goal in quick succession. Shaparenko looks for Christensen. Christensen going to look for Dan James on the right-hand side. He's going to try and throw this one in. Mateta looks in field for Decore. Nice little pass. He's got Elise out wide on the right-hand side. He drives into the penalty area. Looks out wide for Jack Harrison. Finds him. He's going to try and find Jacob Ramsey. He does. Jacob Ramsey twisting and turning. Trying to find an angle. Lays it off to Rocker. He's got Dan James out wide on the right-hand side. He cuts in on his left. Strikes. Great block from the defender. Dan James with the corner once again. Aims it in for Christensen, who's there. And it's another big save. Dan James, he's got grass to run into here on this right-hand side. And he has pace to burn. Drives past Eze. Tries to get this ball into the box. Lovely stuff to get himself away from Rocker, and a nice little turn as well. And he drives into space. Where is Christensen gone? Committed himself. Jacob Ramsey ends up getting tackled by Elise. Crystal Palace now have it. And it's Zaha driving into the box. Can he get away? Oh my word. Fran Beltran on the edge of the box for Crystal Palace. Decore now picks it up. Got to try and stop the attackers getting it just outside of him, but he chooses to take it on himself. Gives it out to Decore. Decore drives into the penalty area. Nice stuff from him, and it's a great save from Meslier. Hughes now has it on this left-hand side. Crystal Palace all over us in this second half. Wonderful little turn from him to get it past Christensen. Decore and Crystal Palace. That is absolutely fantastic. What a brilliant, brilliant goal. Continues to drive forward, but he lays it over the top to Zaha. He ends up giving it back to Hughes. Crystal Palace in a dangerous position, but Struik with a wonderful challenge. We are heading into stoppage time here at Selhurst Park. We need to try and find a goal. Fagioli taken out from behind. by Will Hughes. Fagioli tries to go out wide on the left-hand side, dinks this one into the box. Is there anyone there? No, there isn't. Junior Firpo knocks that one down to Dan James. He's got the pace to get away from the defender. Can I strike with him? Straight into the arms of Stefan. Crystal Palace pick up a 2-1 win here at Selhurst Park. It was a very, very difficult game, but ultimately a well-deserved win for them. And we're on to game number 4 this episode. The game's coming thick and fast, and it's going to be another sim game, this time against Southampton. And as you can see from my starting 11, I have gone back to my usual starting 11, with the exception being Junior Firpo coming in for Luca Netz, who's not been great in these last few games. Sinistera back in for Jack Harrison as well. He's very unlucky to drop to the bench after back-to-back goal-scoring games. Adeyemi also comes in up front for Gelhardt. And after a really, really difficult game against Palace, we are back in the win column. Adeyemi and Popescu combining for a 2-1 win at Ellen Road against Southampton. Game number 5 of this episode, and it is a massive game at the Emirates, of course, away at Arsenal. Arsenal going with a 4-2-3-1, Ramsdale in goal, Carvajal at right back, Pau Torres and Nuno Tavares on the left-hand side, Elneny and Partey still in the centre of midfield, Dada in the cam role, and Correa. As for us, of course, we stick with 4-3-3, and I have stuck with the same team that got us past Southampton in our last sim game, Shaparenko, Rocker and Ramsey becoming the bedrock of my central midfield, Dan James, Adeyemi and Sinistera. Of course, the attacking trio. Nice little turn away from Rocker. Gives it to Correa, gets it back from him, strikes from distance. He's going to play it into the path of Jacob Ramsey. Lovely stuff from him. Jacob Ramsey looks back in field for Adeyemi. Adeyemi going to try and turn, lays it off to Rocker. Great stuff from us, and it's into the back of the net. Correa just waiting for options to come forward, but instead decides to go alone, and he goes past my defenders like they're not even there, and that's a lovely ball into him, and Arsenal are right back in this game. We have absolutely fallen asleep at the back. Correa brings this one forward for Arsenal. Can he try and get away from Struijk? He can. Martinelli lays it back off of him. Looks like Dada's driving through the middle. Where on earth are my defence? And Meslier once again comes to the rescue for me. Arsenal look like they're going to go deep into the box with this one. They do. And Thomas Partey lays it off to Thomas Partey. He gives it to Dada. Oh, that's a wonderful ball into Correa. And it's in from Thomas Partey. I can have absolutely no qualms about that goal. Absolutely brilliant stuff. Dada and Correa are combining and absolutely ripping us apart. Correa with a great shot. It was an even better save for Meslier, and unfortunately for me, it fell right into the path of Thomas Partey, who made no mistake. Can he get past Struijk? It decides to turn and go back into Tavares. Dada combining with Correa again. Absolutely no one marking him. Managed to turn away from Struijk once again. Drives into the penalty area. Saka's there. Meslier with another absolutely massive save. Arsenal look to go short with the corner. They do. Correa picks it up. Lovely step over from him. Tries to get away from Shaparenko. Drives into the box. And it looks as though it's going to be a penalty. I have absolutely no idea why. Well, if we look at the replay, he pulls his shirt. He pulls his shirt. No arguments there. Looks like Saka's going to step up here for Arsenal. Smashes it into the top right-hand corner. Gives the keeper absolutely no chance. It's a wonderful penalty. And Arsenal lead 3-1. Into Martinelli this time. Dada gets it back. Martinelli now has it. Correa. This is such dangerous stuff. Great play from Arsenal. Correa lays that off to Shaparenko. Shaparenko looks to his right-hand side to Christensen. Christensen tries to release Dan James. It hits his heels, but he just about manages to keep it alive. Shaparenko now running into the edge of the area. Into Adeyemi. 6s and 7s at the back for Arsenal. They're all over the shop, and we end up getting the ball into the back of the net with Adeyemi. I was absolutely smashing the circle button, just hoping anyone would be able to get their head, their foot, anything to it. And eventually, Adeyemi bundles it in for us, and we are back in this game. Oh, Correa absolutely running through my defence. Correa into the box. Correa looking for options. Find Thomas Partey. Gets it back from him. Dada now has it. The lethal combination for Arsenal that has absolutely torn us apart so far this game. Saka out on the right-hand side. Drives into the penalty area. And it's away from Kalulu. Luca Netz trying to drive down this left-hand side. Has he got the pace to try and get away from Elneny? He does. And Luca Netz, the substitute, driving in now. Can we get this ball across? Into the path of Gabriel Jesus. He's come on for Correa. To be honest, I'm absolutely delighted Correa's gone off. But Gabriel Jesus is going to be just as bad. Into Dada. And that is why Dada and Gabriel Jesus combining and it's a fantastic goal from Arsenal. They lead here 4-2, and I can have absolutely no complaints about that one. Shaparenko. Oh, that's a nice ball to Dan James. Dan James comes in field though, steps away from the defender, drives into the penalty area, strikes, and it's a fantastic goal. Dan James with an unbelievable goal, and we get another one back. Saka drives forward on this right-hand side, tries to go past Luca Netz, ends up checking back into Gabby Jesus. Thomas Partey with the strike. Dan James on the right-hand side. Has he got the pace to try and go past El Neni? Yes, he does. He checks back inside, though, and he's going to go driving into the penalty area. Thomas Partey is there, though, and I think that is going to be the last chance of the game, but Shaparenko headed it down to Fagioli. Referee, you cannot blow your whistle there. Unbelievable from the referee. It ends here at the Emirates 4-3. An absolute rollercoaster of the game. And Arsenal pick up the 3 points here. I stick 3 past them, but it's not enough. It ends here at the Emirates 4-3. And we go on to game number 6, the last game of this episode. And what a game to end on. We are at home against the reigning Premier League champions, Manchester City. And as you can see for us, only one change to the starting 11 that lost 4-3 to Arsenal. Luca Netz comes back in place of Junior Firpo. As for Manchester City, well, they've gone 4-2-3-1. A bit of an odd-shaped central midfield, it must be said. But the danger man Haaland starts up front for them, rated 90 now. And he's definitely someone I've got to watch out for this game. Manchester City pressing high early doors. Bernardo driving down this left-hand side. Can he try and cut in? That is great defending from Struijk. Jacob Ramsey going to look for Adeyemi. He's got the pace to get away from Ruben Diaz. He drives into the penalty area. He strikes, and he just puts it wide. To Haaland to run into on this left-hand side. Tries to check back to Foden. He does. Into De Bruyne. Kalulu is there, but gets himself in a bit of a bother. De Bruyne curls. Tried to curl it round the goalkeeper. Didn't quite work out for him. Christensen finds Roca. Man City pressing high, and they've left gaping holes in their defence. Sinisterra to Jacob Ramsey. So close. It falls back to Dan James. Can he put it in the box? He can't put it in the back of the net. And City somehow get it away. Of Erling Haaland. Out wide now to Phil Foden. Can he keep it in? Yes, he can. Drives down the left-hand side. Gives it back to Haaland once again. Kalulu is there with a brilliant challenge. Roca. And again, Man City leaving gaping holes in their defence. Sinisterra is there. Can he play it across the box? He can. And it's so poor. Shaparenko again. City leaving acres of space. And this time, we make no mistake. Shaparenko smashes that into the top left-hand corner. And we find ourselves 1-0 up. Shaparenko makes no mistake. Leaves Ederson with absolutely no chance. And for me, we deservedly lead 1-0 here at the Etihad. City have it now. Lozano just in the inside of our box. Struijk taking one touch too many. And Meslier is there to save us once again. Going to try and find Adeyemi. We do find Adeyemi. He's got an onrushing Shaparenko. He looks out to the right-hand side to Dan James. Into the path of Haaland. He gives it back to Foden. The substitute Gundogan now has it. He tries to play it out wide and he does. Cancelo running down from the left-hand side. Oh, lovely check-in ahead of Christensen. And he almost bends it round Meslier. Adeyemi. Oh, that's a wonderful ball through to Sinisterra. But he doesn't have any options in the box. Going to try and play it across now. Dan James was at the far post and he just couldn't reach it. Into Erling Haaland. Erling Haaland tries to chip this one over. Luca Netz almost got there ahead of Alvarez, but he doesn't in the end. Phil Foden picks it up. Oh, Dan James, wonderful stuff here. Shaparenko now. He can drive through the centre. Lays that off to Roca. Roca to please give us a 2-goal lead. Yes, he does. Roca makes no mistake, and it's another fantastic counter-attack. De Bruyne now with a really, really dangerous free kick here. He looks like he's going to step up and try and take this. He does, and it's over the bar. Coke, the substitute, was being pressured, ended up giving that to Haaland. Foden has it, lays it off to Haaland, and that was a dangerous, dangerous challenge, but fortunately Haaland just turned away. De Bruyne with the power shot. Unfortunately, we get there just in time. It's an absolute scramble to try and get the ball clear. Haaland turns into space, and he shoots and he scores. Manchester City get themselves right back in this game. Erling Haaland with a monster shot, powers it past Meslier, makes no mistake. And it is 2-1 here with 5 minutes remaining. Gundogan, oh, that's a wonderful ball over to Cancelo. City are going to have a chance right at the death. He checks inside for Christensen. And that is unbelievable defending. And we get the job done here at the Etihad. We win the game 2-1 after some huge, huge defending right at the end. And somehow, some way, we've come away with 3 points here. And that is that for the end of this episode. And what a jam-packed rollercoaster episode it has been. And you will see from the table, we now find ourselves in second place after 10 games. That 3 points against Manchester City has done absolutely wonders. We do obviously sit 6 points behind them, and I have no intentions of a title challenge this year. Manchester United will probably win their game in hand, but somehow we find ourselves in the Champions League places. Long may it continue. The likes of Spurs, Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal, 8th, 9th, 10th and 11th. Newcastle 12th as well. What on earth is going on this season? Crystal Palace still find themselves in 5th as well. So some very, very odd starts to the season. And it's Fulham, Norwich and Stoke City in the relegation zone. Preston have managed to claw their way back out of it. But already there's a 5-point gap between them and Leicester City in 16th. So a long, long way to go. But what a brilliant start. 10 games played, we find ourselves in second place. And if you have enjoyed the format of this episode, playing a lot more games but showing key highlights, please let me know, like this video, please let me know in the comments as well below, and I will continue the same format in the next episode as well. You can see we've got some huge games coming up. Liverpool, Newcastle, we've got Preston, we've got Wolves, and also heading into December we have mammoth games to play as well. So lots to play for, more jam-packed schedules ahead of us. But that is that for the end of this episode. If you have enjoyed it, as I said, please feel free to like and subscribe. It will do the channel an absolute world of good. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.